Have you ever found yourself waking up in the middle of the night, sometimes more than once, just to go to the bathroom? If so, you're not alone. But here's the thing most people don't realize. These nighttime awakenings may seem like harmless inconveniences until they silently begin to erode your quality of life. What appears to be just a habit could, in reality, be a signal from your body that something deeper is off balance. And if left unchecked, it might lead to consequences far beyond just a poor night's sleep. That's exactly why this conversation matters. Understanding what's triggering your bladder during the night, and more importantly, what you might be doing to unknowingly cause it, can be a game changer for your energy, focus, and even long-term well-being. Now, before we dive into what you should absolutely avoid before bed, I want to make a quick promise. If you stay with me through the end, I'll reveal a bonus tip, something rarely discussed yet powerful, that can significantly amplify the benefits of everything we're going to talk about. And trust me, it's worth it. Because while tonight might feel like just another sleepless night, the long-term cost of ignoring your body's signals can accumulate slowly and quietly. More on that later. Let's begin by unpacking the actual impact of waking up at night to urinate, what's medically known as nocturia. Most people shrug it off. You wake up, you go, you come back to bed. Simple, right? Not quite. These interruptions fragment your sleep cycles, especially the deeper, more restorative stages that your brain and body desperately need. Over time, this disruption can lead to fatigue, memory issues, weight gain, and even mood imbalances. More than that, the body begins to lose its natural rhythm, its ability to regulate hormones, process toxins, and support immune function during the night. Here's what's often overlooked. Your nighttime bathroom visits might have little to do with the amount of liquid you drink before bed. In fact, many people make the mistake of assuming it's all about evening water intake. But what if I told you that some of your most common daytime habits, what you eat, how you hydrate, even your exposure to light, could be setting you up for a restless night, hours later? Still, the concern isn't just the sleep loss. Over time, frequent urination during the night may signal strain on your kidneys, hormonal imbalances, or an overstimulated bladder. And here's something to reflect on. If your body consistently wakes you up to urinate, it's not just being inconvenient, it's trying to communicate something important. Even more concerning, fragmented sleep has been linked to long-term health risks, such as elevated blood pressure and impaired glucose tolerance. None of this is meant to alarm you, but to empower you. Because the sooner you understand what your body is trying to tell you, the faster you can reclaim your rest and all the healing that comes with it. And that's where awareness comes in. You see, the body functions in patterns, natural rhythms that signal when to sleep, when to wake, when to eliminate. But when we unintentionally disrupt those patterns, the body adapts, often in ways that cause more harm than good. Waking up at night may feel like something you just have to live with, but that couldn't be further from the truth. There are specific triggers, habits, substances, even emotions that interfere with these natural processes. Identifying and removing just one of these can significantly change your nights. So I invite you to stay fully engaged as we unpack these factors one by one. Every piece of information from this point forward is designed to help you take back control, not just of your nights, but of your energy, your clarity, and your overall health. And remember that bonus I mentioned earlier? It's not just a trick or extra tip. It's a proven, natural technique that can enhance the results of what we'll discuss, especially when used correctly. You'll want to get it right, because when it comes to your body, small mistakes in preparation or timing can undermine all your efforts. And while we'll keep things simple and doable, overlooking this information could lead to consequences that might surprise you. Let's keep going, because the next habit we're about to expose is far more common than you'd expect. It might even be in your kitchen right now. Ignoring it won't just reduce the effectiveness of what comes next. It could also invite complications you never saw coming. Let's talk about one of the most underestimated culprits when it comes to waking up at night. Your drinks. Not just any drinks. Specifically, the ones you consume thinking they're harmless or even beneficial. And here's the twist. Many of the beverages people enjoy in the late afternoon or evening are quietly working against their bladder, overstimulating the kidneys and throwing off the body's natural nighttime balance. Most people don't think twice about having a cup of herbal tea, a diet soda, or even a glass of wine in the evening. After all, how much harm could that possibly cause? The answer might surprise you, because it's not just about volume, it's about chemistry. Take caffeine, for example. It's not only found in coffee, but also in many teas, sodas, and even chocolate-based drinks. Caffeine is a known diuretic. It encourages the kidneys to produce more urine. That means even a seemingly innocent green tea after dinner could be stimulating your system in exactly the wrong way. And since caffeine can stay active in your body for hours, having any after 2 or 3 p.m. might still be influencing your bladder well into the night. But caffeine isn't the only sneaky suspect. Alcohol, too, plays a significant role. While it might make you feel relaxed initially, alcohol disrupts your sleep cycles and stimulates urine production. Even just one glass of wine at dinner can interfere with the hormones that usually suppress urination while you sleep. Over time, this disruption can become a pattern, one that leads to repeated nighttime awakenings. Then there are the artificial sweeteners found in many diet sodas and sugar-free snacks. These sweeteners, especially aspartame and saccharin, can irritate the bladder lining, making it more sensitive and reactive. In people already prone to nocturia, even a small amount of these chemicals can increase the urge to urinate at night. It's a subtle but real effect, and unfortunately, one that most people never connect back to their beverage choices. And we haven't even mentioned the hidden diuretics. Certain herbal teas marketed as detoxifying or calming often include ingredients like dandelion root or hibiscus, which gently increase urination. Now, these herbs can be useful in other contexts, but taking them in the evening? That's a setup for broken sleep. Here's where things get even more interesting. The body operates on hormonal cues to reduce urine production at night. One of the key hormones is called vasopressin. It tells your kidneys to hold on to fluids during sleep. But certain substances, alcohol, caffeine, even stress, can interfere with vasopressin release, prompting your kidneys to keep working full speed when they should be slowing down. So, what can you do about it? Start by being intentional about your beverage choices after mid-afternoon. Stick with plain water during the day, tapering off in the early evening. Avoid anything with caffeine or alcohol after 3 p.m. And take a second look at any teas labeled as detox, cleanse, or energy boosting. They may not be the nighttime allies they seem. Replacing evening drinks with calming options like warm water with a slice of cucumber or ginger can help soothe the digestive system without irritating the bladder. A light, caffeine-free herbal infusion, such as chamomile or lemon balm, might work, but only if you're sure it doesn't contain diuretic herbs. Now imagine the difference it could make. Falling asleep without interruption, waking up refreshed, and regaining full nights of rest simply by adjusting what you drink and when. These changes may seem small, but their impact is cumulative and profound. Of course, every person's body is different. That's why it's worth experimenting a bit, observing the results, and gradually finding your own rhythm. The goal is not restriction, it's alignment with your body's natural systems. What's important is to start paying attention to the details we usually ignore. The second cup of coffee, the sugar-free soda with dinner, the relaxing tea blend with an unexpected ingredient. All of these could be signals your bladder doesn't appreciate, and now you're better equipped to notice them. Stick with me, because the next factor we're going to explore is possibly the most underestimated of all. It's something you probably eat regularly, believing it's totally unrelated to nighttime urination. But in reality, it may be aggravating your bladder more than anything we've covered so far. And if you overlook it, the side effects could become chronic, not just annoying. Now that you've begun to rethink the drinks you rely on in the evening, let's shift the focus to something equally present, yet even more often overlooked: the foods on your plate. What you eat, especially during dinner and those late-night snacks, may be having a direct, irritating effect on your bladder, and most people have no idea it's happening. It's easy to believe that food only affects your digestion or your waistline. But the truth is that certain ingredients are biochemically active in ways that disrupt the entire urinary system, especially when consumed close to bedtime. Some of these are incredibly common in the average North American diet, foods people reach for out of routine, comfort, or convenience, not realizing they could be triggering their nighttime trips to the bathroom. Let's take a closer look. One of the first offenders is tomatoes. Yes, even in cooked form, like pasta sauces, soups, or ketchup, tomatoes are highly acidic and can irritate the bladder lining. For some, even small amounts can increase urinary urgency, especially when consumed at night. Another unexpected trigger is chocolate. While often considered a harmless treat, chocolate contains both caffeine and acidic compounds. Combined, they stimulate the bladder while also relaxing the pelvic muscles that help hold urine in during sleep. So that innocent piece of dark chocolate after dinner might be working against your body's nighttime rhythm. Spicy foods are another hidden threat. Peppers, hot sauces, and anything seasoned heavily with chili or cayenne can overstimulate not just your digestive tract, but also your urinary tract. The heat from these foods can increase bladder sensitivity, making it more likely to contract at night, even when it's not full. Then there are citrus fruits. Oranges, grapefruits, lemons, even natural juices are highly acidic. While they offer vitamin C and taste refreshing, they also lower the pH in your urine, irritating the bladder and increasing frequency and urgency. And the closer to bedtime they're consumed, the stronger the impact. But there's more. Processed foods, especially those high in sodium like canned soups, frozen dinners, deli meats, and snack chips, contribute to fluid retention during the day. That retained fluid is often released at night when the body finally relaxes, leading to increased nighttime urination. It's a delayed reaction, which makes the connection easy to miss. So, what does all of this mean for you? It means that what you eat can be just as important as what you drink when it comes to reducing those frustrating nighttime interruptions. And by identifying and minimizing foods that irritate the bladder, you give your body the chance to settle into deeper, uninterrupted sleep. You don't have to overhaul your diet overnight. But even small adjustments, like replacing tomato-based sauces with creamy or herb-based ones, or choosing a light fruit like pear instead of citrus after dinner, can start to ease pressure on the bladder. It's also helpful to practice timing. Try to eat dinner at least 3 hours before bedtime, giving your digestive system time to process food and eliminate excess waste before sleep. And if you do get hungry later, opt for low-acid, non-irritating options like a handful of unsalted almonds or a slice of banana. One key point here is to become more aware of how your body responds. If you notice increased bathroom visits after eating certain foods, keep track. Sometimes the patterns are subtle, but once you see them, you can make much more informed decisions. Remember, your body doesn't act randomly. Nighttime urination is a symptom, not the root problem. The foods you consume may be gently irritating your bladder all day, only for the consequences to appear once you lie down and the body enters rest mode. By listening more closely, adjusting your habits, and choosing foods that support rather than stress your system, you begin to move back into alignment with your natural rhythm. And that's where real healing happens, through small, intentional steps that build toward lasting change. This knowledge alone could already help improve your nights. But we're not done yet. The next factor goes beyond what you eat or drink. It has to do with your daily rhythm and how your body interprets time. Ignoring it not only reduces your chances of real improvement, it can also compound the very issue you're trying to solve. And the science behind it is both fascinating and essential. We've now seen how foods and drinks, often the ones we consider harmless, can silently interfere with our sleep by irritating the bladder or overstimulating fluid production. But what if I told you that one of the most powerful factors affecting your nighttime urination has nothing to do with what you consume and everything to do with your internal clock? That's right. Your body follows a precise internal rhythm known as the circadian cycle, which governs sleep, hormone production, digestion, and even urination. This biological clock is deeply sensitive to environmental cues, especially light. And when it's disrupted, your entire nighttime physiology can go off track. Here's what's critical to understand. The body is naturally designed to reduce urine production at night. This function is controlled in part by a hormone called vasopressin. During healthy sleep, vasopressin signals the kidneys to slow down urine output, allowing you to rest through the night without interruption. However, When your circadian rhythm is disturbed by irregular sleep schedules, exposure to artificial light, or inconsistent routines, vasopressin release can be reduced or mistimed. The result? Your kidneys continue to produce urine at daytime levels even when you're supposed to be sleeping. And the biggest culprit in this disruption? Blue light, emitted by smartphones, tablets, televisions, and LED bulbs. When you're exposed to blue light in the evening, your brain delays melatonin production, the hormone that tells your body it's time to wind down. But it doesn't stop there. That same delay in melatonin can also interfere with the release of vasopressin. It's a domino effect: less melatonin, less vasopressin, more nighttime urination. But it's not just about screens. Your evening routine, what time you eat, how active you are when you start to dim the lights, all plays a role in reinforcing or disrupting your body's internal rhythm. The more consistent and calming your routine, the stronger your body's signal to rest and restore itself, including suppressing unnecessary urination. There's also the role of stress. Elevated cortisol, your stress hormone, disrupts the balance between melatonin and vasopressin. High evening cortisol keeps your body in a state of alertness, often leading to fragmented sleep and increased nighttime wakefulness, including bathroom trips. So, what can you do to realign your body's rhythm? Start by managing your exposure to light. Aim to dim the lights in your home after sunset. If you must use screens, consider using a blue light filter or wearing blue light blocking glasses in the evening. Better yet, replace that screen time with a calming activity: reading a physical book, journaling, or stretching. Stick to a regular bedtime and wake time, even on weekends. Your body thrives on consistency, and each time you vary your sleep schedule, you force your internal clock to reset. This not only affects your energy, but also your ability to sleep through the night without interruption. Consider introducing a wind-down routine. This might include herbal tea, free from irritants, as we discussed, light breathing exercises, or gentle music. The goal is to send your body clear, repetitive signals that it's time to transition into rest. And perhaps most importantly, reduce stimulating activities late in the evening. That includes intense conversations, news consumption, or checking emails. These trigger a stress response that can delay both sleep onset and the hormonal cascade required for uninterrupted rest. The beauty of aligning with your circadian rhythm is that the benefits extend far beyond reducing nighttime urination. You'll likely notice improvements in mood, digestion, focus, and immune health as well. That's because when your body knows when to rest and when to act, it can do both far more efficiently. It might seem like a lot to change at once, but start small. Begin with dimming the lights an hour earlier or setting a consistent bedtime for 3 nights a week. These adjustments build momentum. Over time, you'll find your body responding more restfully, more predictably, and with fewer nightly interruptions. That said, the next insight is one you cannot afford to skip. It's about how timing your hydration can either support your healing process or completely reverse your progress. Ignore it, and you may find yourself undoing all the improvements you've made so far. But applied correctly, it can be one of the most transformative habits in your journey toward better nights and better days. By now, it's clear that late-night awakenings to urinate aren't random. They're the result of a series of small, interconnected choices. But one of the most deceptively simple and deeply misunderstood factors is your hydration pattern. Yes, drinking water is essential, but the question that makes all the difference is when, how much, and under what circumstances. Most people approach hydration with good intentions. They've heard they should drink more water, so they do, often forgetting to space it out properly. The issue is timing. Drinking large amounts of water in the evening, especially close to bedtime, almost guarantees a full bladder at night. But what's less obvious is how compensating for daytime dehydration in the evening sets off a physiological chain reaction. During the day, your body is designed to process fluids efficiently. Your kidneys are in active mode, your bladder muscles are alert, and your hormones are regulating fluid balance dynamically. But when hydration is pushed too late, say after 6 or 7 p.m., your body doesn't have enough time to filter and excrete that liquid before it transitions into rest mode. Here's what happens next. Once you lie down, gravity no longer helps keep fluids in the lower extremities. Fluids that were retained in your legs and tissues during the day begin to circulate back into the bloodstream, reaching the kidneys. This triggers increased urine production just as your body is trying to wind down. It's one of the reasons many people notice that they can go most of the day without needing frequent bathroom breaks, only to find themselves waking up more than once at night. But there's a way to change this without compromising hydration. The key is front-loading your water intake. Begin your day with a large glass of water and continue drinking small amounts regularly throughout the morning and early afternoon. By mid-afternoon, start to taper off. Ideally, you should be consuming 70–80% of your total water intake before 5 p.m. This gives your body ample time to process and release fluids well before sleep. Also, take note of how you hydrate. Sipping water slowly over time is far more effective than chugging large amounts all at once. The body absorbs small doses more efficiently, and the kidneys aren't overwhelmed into producing excessive urine quickly. In contrast, sudden high-volume hydration leads to rapid bladder filling and can strain the kidneys over time. Another factor to consider is the type of fluid. Beverages that contain electrolytes, such as coconut water or mineral-rich drinks, can help the body retain hydration longer without stimulating excess urination. Just be mindful of their sugar and sodium content, especially in packaged options. And remember that caffeine and alcohol don't count toward hydration goals. They can actually have the opposite effect. Beyond the physical intake, consider your salt consumption. High-sodium meals in the evening cause your body to retain water during the day, only to release it later, often during the night. Reducing sodium in dinner meals can reduce this delayed fluid release and lighten the workload on your bladder at bedtime. Simple changes can make a big impact. Try moving your last full glass of water to at least 2 hours before bed. If you're thirsty after that, limit yourself to a few small sips. Also, elevate your legs for 15 to 20 minutes in the early evening. This can help move excess fluid from the lower limbs back into circulation earlier in the day, giving your kidneys time to manage it while you're still awake. By taking conscious control of your hydration habits, you empower your body to align more naturally with its circadian rhythm. This alignment not only reduces nighttime urination, but improves the overall quality of your sleep, supporting everything from hormone regulation to cognitive clarity. You don't need to deprive yourself of water. You just need to give your body the rhythm it needs to process it wisely. And when you make hydration a daytime priority, instead of a late-night catch-up routine, you take a huge step toward healing. That said, our next topic is the one that ties everything together, and it's the most important. Because even if you get your hydration, food, light exposure, and habits right, there's one underlying issue that can keep sabotaging your efforts. And ignoring it won't just slow your progress, it can lead to side effects that ripple through your entire system. Let's uncover what that is and how to deal with it effectively. If you've been following closely, you've already uncovered how drinks, foods, habits, and hydration patterns all shape the way your body behaves at night. But there's one more piece to this puzzle, one that's often missed, even by those trying everything right. It lies in an unexpected connection between your gut and your bladder. Yes, your digestive system may be influencing your nighttime urination more than you ever realized. Here's what most people don't know. When the intestines are inflamed, sluggish, or bloated, they can exert pressure on nearby organs, including the bladder. That pressure doesn't have to be severe to be disruptive. Even mild digestive discomfort can lead to an increase in bladder sensitivity and create the feeling of needing to urinate even when the bladder isn't full. And the effects are amplified at night, when the body's systems are trying to downregulate and relax. But the influence goes deeper. Your gut microbiome, the vast colony of bacteria that lives in your intestines, plays a role in modulating inflammation throughout your body. When your gut is out of balance, whether due to diet, stress, medications, or irregular eating patterns, it can increase systemic inflammation, contributing to overactive bladder symptoms. This often leads to misfiring signals between the brain and bladder, disrupting the hormonal messaging that normally suppresses urination at night. The solution isn't just to address the bladder, it's to heal the gut. One of the most effective ways to do this is through the use of gentle, natural infusions that support both digestive and urinary health. Now remember the bonus tip I promised in the beginning? Here it is, and it's one of the simplest yet most powerful additions you can make. Prepare an infusion using dried chamomile flowers and fennel seeds. Chamomile is widely known for its calming effects, but it also has gentle anti-inflammatory and antispasmodic properties that can soothe both the digestive tract and the bladder wall. Fennel seeds, on the other hand, are excellent for reducing gas, supporting intestinal motility, and relieving pressure caused by bloating. When combined, they create a synergistic blend that promotes relaxation of the pelvic region while reducing internal tension. Here's how to do it properly. In a cup of freshly boiled water, add 1 teaspoon of dried chamomile and half a teaspoon of crushed fennel seeds. Cover and let steep for 8 to 10 minutes. Strain and drink it slowly, preferably 30 to 45 minutes before your evening meal, not right before bed. Timing is key, because this blend works best when it can calm your system before your body transitions into rest mode. Many people make the mistake of drinking herbal teas just before bed. While well-intentioned, this can increase the chances of waking up to urinate, especially if the bladder is already sensitive. By moving this calming ritual earlier, before dinner, you support digestion, reduce pressure on the bladder, and still enjoy the relaxing benefits without filling your system with unnecessary liquid before sleep. Additionally, begin incorporating more fiber-rich, anti-inflammatory foods during the day. Leafy greens, steamed vegetables, chia seeds, and probiotic-rich options like kefir or unsweetened yogurt can help repair the gut barrier and rebalance the microbiome. Avoid highly processed foods, excessive sugar, and meals high in saturated fat at night, all of which increase intestinal fermentation and inflammation. By supporting your gut, you create more space, literally and functionally, for your bladder to operate without interference. And as your gut heals, the inflammation that once triggered nighttime urgency begins to calm. Your body can finally rest. Now take a moment to reflect on how far you've come. You've explored the silent effects of common drinks and foods, understood the power of your circadian rhythm, mastered the timing of hydration, and now unlocked the gut-bladder connection. These aren't just isolated tips. They're a roadmap to regaining control of your nights, restoring deep rest, and supporting your body's natural ability to heal. Your health doesn't change overnight, but it does respond to consistency. These small but intentional steps create ripple effects that transform not only how you sleep, but how you live. If this journey helped you learn something new or inspired you to take action, consider sharing this message with someone who needs it. Like, comment, and subscribe if you found value here. Because when knowledge is shared, it becomes a catalyst for change, not just in your life, but in your community as well. Keep going, stay curious, and never underestimate the power of giving your body what it truly needs. Healing is always possible when you begin to listen and respond with care.